Is your screen time ruining your ability to feel pleasure and happiness? Do you wake up in the morning and grab your phone and you start the scroll, you start the swipe, you see whose birthday it is? Oh my gosh, so-and-so had a baby. Now you have to say congratulations, and you start liking and commenting, and then you find a meme that's like way too good to keep to yourself. So you got to screenshot it and then crop it and send it to all your WhatsApp groups so everyone can get a little chuckle out of it. And then you keep scrolling and scrolling, and then you get down the rabbit hole of some information that you want to research. And the next thing you know, your brain is being flooded with all these neurochemicals, and you haven't left your bed. It's 20 minutes later, and you're still lying there under the covers. What does this mean for your neurochemicals? Well, you've just released so much dopamine and serotonin that you feel great, but it all came from an external source. And that hit of dopamine that you got is 400% above the baseline of what it would normally naturally release. And that 400% sits just under as if you were to do a line of coke. So to say that this is addicting or to say that this is not addicting, might want to rethink that one. It is really hard to just put those phones down, and if that gives you a nice little comparison why, it might be something to think about. We spend about 2 to 4 hours a day aimlessly scrolling on these screens. There's a lot we could do in 2 to 4 hours each day if we weren't busy getting sucked into this internet world of things. And we become desensitized now to this dopamine and serotonin that our body wants to release. So what does that mean? Well, anything else that doesn't give us that really high hit with these neurochemicals is going to be freaking boring. Your day is going to be mundane, womp womp. So like reading a book or learning something new is like whoop-de-doo. We've become desensitized to these neurotransmitters, and now we rely on these external sources of screens and such to give us that hit, to give us motivation, to give us pleasure. And when we become anxious or tired, the first thing we do is now go to this external stimulus. So dopamine is released from the ventral tegmental area of the brain. It's in the midbrain. And again, it affects our cognition, it affects our mood, it affects our attentiveness to the world around us and the attentiveness within. Serotonin is released from the gut and also from the brainstem. And when serotonin is released, it regulates our mood, our appetite, and our wake and sleepfulness, and the cycle of wake and sleep. So when we are unable to be sensitive to our natural release of dopamine and serotonin, we get dysregulated, and then we're not happy, and everything is boring. And we're anxious, and we're depressed, and we're angry more times than not. So then we go back to this passive way to get that hit again. We can just sit on our couch and do nothing but feel good. But is that really helping us? Not so much. Obviously, it makes sense for the body to not utilize energy to go out in nature, to have a conversation with a live human being in person, to enjoy a good meal, to do some breath work, to do some exercise. So the body's like, well, wait, if I don't have to do all these things, well, I'm going to save my energy so I don't have to. Okay, but now every time that you do need to feel a little better, or you do need motivation to do something, and your screen isn't around, you freak out because we don't know how to handle these things. We don't know how to handle stress any longer. We don't know how to calm ourselves back down. We need to start eliminating some screen time so that we can find this joy and pleasure within ourselves again and build that back up. It's like breaking a habit and this super underrated addiction, because it clearly is an addiction. It's like if you were to eat a candy bar, right? It spikes your blood sugar and then you get this crash after. Not so great. Versus if you ate a sustainable snack like apples and peanut butter, and it slowly rises your blood sugar and slowly lowers it down. And that's sustainable. And when we are able to alchemize these chemicals on our own will and control the rate with which it's created and control the rate with which it's released, because we're also in control of the body, as we don't consciously control our receptors and the enzymes to break these things down from this powerful inner source that we already have. It's way more fulfilling. It's going to increase your self-esteem, it's going to increase your self-confidence, and it's going to decrease your stress and your anxiety. Because you've got some control, you've got some say in what's going on here. So you're not just relying on whatever's going to pop onto your YouTube video suggestion list or what someone posted for the day. These things do work, but we do need to resensitize ourselves to the ability to alchemize the dopamine and the serotonin based off of our own internal flames and fires and chemical processes without all this external stuff. That stuff is cool for like extra, sprinklings on the cake, but it's not the main ingredients here. So go out in nature, and you have to force yourself at first, for sure, before you discount it and be like, this is stupid, this is boring. Give yourself something to observe. Use all of your senses so that you're engaged all the way through. Smell what it smells like to be outside. It might be good, or there might be some dog poop in the corner of the sidewalk there. I don't know, but you'll smell something, you'll feel something, and it'll be new. We love novelty, and we love to experience all these unknown things. So go outside and see what's out there. There's a lot happening. Like there's a car alarm going off right now. That doesn't happen every day there. It was something new. I really wanted to turn my head and see what it was, but it's actually just my grandma's car alarm going off. You can also focus on your breath. The inhale and the exhale, and that sweet little hole at the top, and you can observe in your mind what comes up. That's cool. It really is, because we all know there's a lot going on in between here and here. And if you give yourself time to focus on it, you might actually learn something about yourself. And at the end of the day, when you put your head on the pillow, there's a nice feeling. So give it a try. Read a book. Go outside. Connect with another human being, like in the flesh. Give them a freaking hug. Enjoy a meal that you've cooked. And see if this starts to change your need to grab for your device, or turn on the TV and watch another Netflix episode, or play that video game where you're like, ha ya ya ya, and killing a bunch of people. And notice if it starts to change your ability to respond to the different stressors in life, or your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. And leave a comment and let me know.